Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which I'm gonna announce some bad news for those of you that were expecting the Type 71, the brand new Japanese heavy tank. No, it's not gonna be delayed or anything like that, it's still coming into the game, but there are several things that are about to change. You might know or not know this, but it was tested on the Russian server. Maybe it was also tested on the European one, I didn't know because it was tested the month I was not here. And basically what happened is the developers found out that the tank was too strong and decided to nerf it. And this is today's subject video. We are going to take a look at those nerfs. In case you're living in a cave, you're probably not aware of what's happening with the Japanese heavies, and I'm going to show them to you. The new tank branch that should hit the game for the 9.0 update, I guess, with the big one, the tier 10 being the Type 71. There are several one of those, and as you can see, judging by the look of it, we are looking at a strong turreted tank. The armor seems to be kind of strong based on the rounded space around the gun, and also the upper part of the hull that seems to be quite wide. I mean, it's your traditional heavy, a really good turret, a really good upper hull armor, and the weak spot being the lower part of the hull and everywhere around the tank. It looks quite modern as well, which is gonna serve it quite well, and on top of that, it had an amazing gun depression, and I'm saying had because, well, it got also nerfed. As I just mentioned, at first, this tank was supposed to carry some great gun depression plus an amazing armor, but as it was too strong and the cupola being quite small, or at least appearing small on that picture because no one knows yet what the tank model is going to be in the game, it was just too much. Those are the statistics before the nerf. 2.5k DPM without anything equipped, which means that you could probably climb it up to 2.8, 2.9k, which is just excellent for heavy, especially at tier 10. 9.30 seconds of reload, the average penetration being quite good as well with a 330 millimeters of penetration with your gold shell. And finally, for the top speed, 50 kilometers, which was also quite huge. 400 alpha damage, and finally 9 decrease of gun depression. So overall, if we take into consideration the armor that is great as well, we had something that could top an IS-7, even an IS-4 maybe in all down if we put aside that cupola. So yeah, definitely a great contester. But it seems like Wargaming decided that it was too much and maybe that it's for the best, because in the 8.10 update test or test server update or whatever, the Type 71 is suffering several nerfs. First of all, the top speed is nerfed by 10 kilometers, which is just a huge one considering its original mobility. And it's maybe for the best because at least it will not make it feel like a heavy but rather a true heavy, because 40 kilometers per hour is not necessarily the highest of all heavies, but for something that is packing so much armor, maybe that it's for the best. The second thing is the hull side armor that is nerfed by 22 millimeters down to 105. So maybe that we're gonna suffer the exact same problem as the one we have on the T125. When you angle the tank just a little bit in order to side scrape, you will straight get penetrated, meaning that this tank is supposed to face frontally its opponents and frontally only by using its turret. The hit points also got nerfed. Here, nothing to comment, it's all on Wargaming, they do whatever they want. And the gun depression finally nerfed by 2 degrees down to -7. -7 is still a great gun depression, don't mind me, but yeah, considering that at first we had 9 degrees, it's definitely gonna make a whole difference. Is it enough for the tank to be or let's say average, or at least meta? Yes. Is it enough to make it broken? I couldn't exactly tell you guys. We will have to wait and see. Personally, and I think it's the overall feeling about the tank, it's probably going to be a great contester, because when you take a look at the cupola sitting at 280 millimeters of armor at some point, it just feels weird. I mean, cupolas are in this game are known to be the weakness, the weak spot of tanks, and if Wargaming is trolling by giving it 280 millimeters all around, even if it's not the whole cupola but just that part right there, this little rectangle, it's still quite trolly, and I don't necessarily know why they did that. Maybe they're gonna nerf it before the official release. You also have that cupola on that side, but to be able to land a shot if you're not a Grail 15, good luck. And finally, well, when it comes to the turret, I was quite surprised. Not because it was just great, but simply because if you switch to gold shell, you can penetrate easily if you are a tank destroyer. All that area right there is penetrable as long as you sneak your shell next to the gun. And even if a lot of you are gonna say, yeah, but it's not gonna happen too much, you're probably right. But if you are playing a tank destroyer, it means that you camp and that your aim circle is completely full. And if it's the case, well, you can hit those areas pretty effectively if the guy doesn't know exactly how to play heavy tanks and doesn't wiggle or try to turn around. And when you wiggle with the tank, don't try to angle too much because, well, you are going to get penetrated as well because of the roundness of the turret. Now, for the rest, as you can see, we have a pretty good armor on top right there with more than 300 millimeters. And if you use all your gun depression, even if we're probably going to get a little bit less with the new Type 71 because it has 7 degrees instead of the 9, here you are definitely packing something that you should struggle against. The only possibility to penetrate it is right there, and here, yeah, it's definitely gonna make a difference because on top of that, the cupola becomes not a weak spot, a strong spot, let's call it like that. And yeah, this thing is probably going to be horrible to fight against if you are playing in all down. Maybe that your only chance at destroying that thing is playing a medium or light tank and circling it, because I guess that Wargaming will get it a bad mobility in order to compensate for the rest of the statistics. Not to mention that it also features some spaced armor that will get nerfed, as we mentioned previously in this video. But anyway, I'm still happy to see that World of Tank Blitz is not following the path of World of Tank, the regular and original game from PC, because if I'm not mistaken, we don't have access to those tanks in World of Tank PC. By the way, nothing related, but I was kind of curious to play World of Tank PC again, but unfortunately, based on the fact that it's extremely pay to win, and I don't want to spend too much money on it, I'm just thinking, I don't know, we will see that later. But hopefully, if you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and tell me if you think that the Type 71 is going to be broken as it's released or not. And I'm going to see you soon for a new video. Bye.